Get your questions answered by Deb and Jen.
Deb and Jen are at it again.
Hey there, welcome everybody to the Deb and Jen Show. I'm Coach Deb.
And I'm Coach Jen.
And just a reminder that we do this live Q&A show. And if we don't have questions, we'll just riff on things that we think are important. But anything related to messaging, speaking, sales, and marketing, everyone's favorite subjects. And we thought, well, today, let's answer the question, what's stopping you? You have a dream, you have a goal, you want to accomplish something. What's stopping you? All right. It could be an inner thing. It could be an outer thing. We're going to look at both. So Jen, do you want to kick us off? What first comes to mind when we're looking back on all our clients that we work with, and this question of what's stopping you? What's something that comes up often?
Yeah. So, well, the first thing I think of actually isn't a solution, or it's speaking to the problem of what do we really mean by what's stopping you? And the reason I say it that way is because there are some people that have, their own rationale for why they need to prepare more, why they need to get more trainings, why they need to think about it more before they decide to take action. So just to define what we mean by what's stopping you, chances are, if you're an entrepreneur, you've had a dream or a thought or a goal, call it what you will, and found yourself sometimes hitting the gas pedal, saying, woo, woo, I'm doing this, I'm on track. And then stark breaks, all of a sudden, abrupt stop, or a meandering, like, oh, I'm going to get to it. I should really get to it. You know what? Insert excuse. I was busy this week. I had this other thing going on. Oh, I got distracted. Oh, I wasn't clear. I just want to paint the picture before I get into specific, or before we get into specific examples about the magnitude of this idea of what's stopping you. This is not a cutesy, nice thing to talk about. It's actually a thing that can ruin your business and prevent you from ever achieving these things that you say and believe that you dream about. Coach Deb.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's the old saying? A dream without a plan is just an illusion. Some variation. We've heard variations on that for a long time, but there are so many ways we convince ourselves that we're busy and working on our business and getting more information and getting things perfect at the expense of moving the needle forward. In other words, taking action. And very often when people say, gee, I didn't reach that goal this month or this year or whatever it is, people justify why they're doing A, B, and C because they think somehow it'll make them more effective at X, Y, Z. And the shortest path to clarity, the shortest path to learning about your ideal client, or as other people say, your yes client, the shortest path to conversion, to making a sale, is action, is getting out there and talking to people, just interacting with people, finding out what makes them tick, finding out what they need, where are they challenged, what are their issues. So we think we have to do all this preparation and to have a conversation, and yet I'll bet you $100, Jen, nobody has to go home and do their homework in order to recommend a restaurant.
Right. I can't.
Right. No, I had a great experience. Well, okay. Why can't you just go out and talk to people, like recommending a restaurant or asking for directions when you stop at a convenience store and you're lost? You can ask for directions, can't you? If you can do those two things, ask for directions. I know there's some guys might be challenged, but okay, that's a joke. Ask for directions and recommend a restaurant. You can build a business. It's that simple. Okay. So what's stopping you?
Absolutely. It's because I need to check Yelp and Google reviews and ask 6 neighbors and think about the restaurants I've gone to in the last decade. And if they're still in business, are they open on Tuesdays? I'm not really sure. And do I feel like having pasta or pizza or fish? That's why I can't recommend a restaurant yet. But I'm going to recommend the best, most amazing restaurant as soon as I get all of this sorted.
Said no one ever.
Exactly.
Said no one ever. You have a fabulous restaurant. You can't wait to in fact, your pictures are probably up on Instagram or Facebook before you even leave the restaurant.
Yep.
You're so excited about it. Okay. That's how excited you need to be about your business.
So
people. Yeah, go ahead.
And then it begs the question then, what goes on in the human mind that stops us from saying what we're up to? Now, I'm going to go down I want to give a moment of pause to that question. Like, think about it. Everyone watching, like you watching, when you're watching, like ask yourself, if you've recommended a restaurant, you've recommended a movie, you've given directions, or you've asked for directions, you know how to open your mouth and talk to people. So what happens when you go to bridge the gap to like go to the next step of talking about something you're up to in the world, talking about your business? I feel like I should just end it right there. What happens? What's the gap? And I have thoughts about it. And I don't know, Coach Debbie, feel free to jump in when you're like, yes, I need to talk about it. I'll tell you, when I see people pause and not follow through and keep preparing to start, what I notice the most with the thousands of clients I've worked with is all of a sudden, when it becomes about them and what they're doing, that puts the brakes on for them. So notice in the example of asking for directions, recommending a restaurant or a movie, it's about something else. It's not about you, how good you are, the quality of your program or your product or your presentation. It's about something else. And for some reason, we're really good at saying, oh yeah, you should go to this restaurant. I mean, they might even hate it and you don't even feel bad, like you recommending it because you liked it, right? The restaurant. But when it comes to talking about your thing, your business, your service, all of a sudden people get snagged up. I mean, that's just been my experience. Not always, but that's what we're talking about today is what stops.
Yeah. Let's talk about why that is though.
Yes, that's where I was leading. So thank you.
Well, are you going to go there? Because
no, you go there, and then we'll keep going.
No, you go.
No, you go.
As we identify the conversation as part of ourselves, like it is us, right? So any pushback that we're imagining we're going to get is a direct insult or slam against us personally. Mm-hmm. And that really shouldn't be the case. If we have an offer, a product, a service that we're bringing to the world because we can help people, we can help them have a transformation to go up to another level that they're yearning for, then we're just a catalyst. We're the facilitator. It's not about us. It's really about them. And so what we have to start to do to move the needle forward in the action taking process is simply realize, number one, this isn't about me personally. It's about something I've created that can facilitate happiness. Like the guy at the donut shop makes donuts, you buy one, and it facilitates happiness for now, because later you're going to gain the weight and you're not going to be happy. But you get my point. So we've created an offer, a service, a product, because we want to facilitate a transformation. So get out of the equation and realize that you're here to understand, what's important to them. You're curious. It's not about you, it's about them. We say this all the time. And then how can this offer, product, service, coaching, whatever it is that you have, this presentation, facilitate their transformation? So you're going to move from exploration to explanation. That's it. Exploring what matters to them. We can dive deeper into that because there's a little process involved there. And then an explanation of how what you have created as the catalyst can change everything for them. Okay, nice. So get the attention off of yourself and realize it's about them and be curious, right? Why do you recommend a restaurant anyway? Because you want them to have the same fabulous experience that you had. Otherwise, you'd never recommend it. You think you have a great movie. My sister just last night, she's always asking me for movie recommendations. Now, do I make them? Sure. But I don't know if she's going to like them. It's a gamble, right? But right. I recommend it anyway, because I want her to have a similarly great experience in watching a movie that I had. So when you approach a client, a prospective client, let's say, or just talking with somebody, you want them to have an experience of transformation. It's all relative, right? It's all the same. So it's number one, get the attention off of yourself. Don't make it about you. Make it about them and their transformation. Did you want to jump in there, Jen?
Yes. Yes. So that's great. And it's brilliant. The summary is think about them. It's not about you, etc. Right. So if they go to see the movie and they hate it, you're like, well, that's great. I liked it, but you didn't like it. That's fine. Like you don't lament over it and think, oh, our relationship's over and I'm a terrible person because I recommended a movie.
I've got to go home and study on how to make a movie recommendation. That didn't pan out well.
Yeah, no. And I'm worried about it the whole time you're watching the movie too, just so you know. While I know that you're watching it, I'm going to be worried for myself that somehow this movie is going to reflect poorly on me. Like, no, nobody does that. So yes, make it about them when you are considering talking about your business. But even to back it up a little bit further for bullet point number 2, I want you to know that you're going and accept and love and embrace that you're going to mess things up. You're going to offer something that someone's not going to like. I'm
Or
just
need,
letting you know,
or
right?
need. Yeah.
Or need, right. And so let's say that whatever your hang up is, we can make a list of hang ups, right? Like of things that the stories that go on into people's mind that stop them from taking action. We can do that. And it can be kind of fun, actually. But I want you to know that it's not going to go the way that you think a lot of the time, which is fine. There's nothing wrong. And let me give you an example to ground that. So let's say that you get to this point where you're bold enough where you actually say, oh yeah, here's what I'm up to in the world. And I'm helping chiropractors automate their practices or sell their practice for top dollar. Great, cool. Some people will say, absolutely, tell me more. Other people will say, oh, that's nice. Which means like, thanks, I don't have anything else to ask you. Let's just say you move to the point where you actually serve people. If that's what you're worried about, that your service sucks. If that's what you're worried about, just know that for some people it will suck. That's my doctor lingo. It's going to suck sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with that. So the sooner you embrace the fact that there's an art and not, there is science, but there's also an art to delivery, and that it involves another person. It involves them. And not everyone's going to receive your gift in the same way. Just get over yourself already. That's really what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And go to tell the keep pedaling story, because that's a big part of this, is that attitude.
Yeah. In terms of refining your process,
Mhm.
right?
And continuing. right?
Yeah,
So
I'll
you
tell the
build
keep
something
pedaling
better.
story. Let me just riff on one quick thing.
Sure.
In terms of refining the process, you can't do that at your desk by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely have to be in conversation with prospective clients, because they will give you the information that you're trying to pull out of your head by yourself. And one of my favorite stories I like to tell is I was working with a famous pair of acting coaches a few years back. And one of them said, okay, put your hands up here. And I want you to say to yourself, there's no new information up here. Okay, Jen, let's do it. There's no new information up here. No new information up here. He said, all new information is out there. All new information is out there. So you can sit at your desk and write until you're blue in the face, or research Google, or talk to other people who do similar things, or your friend or your mother or whoever. But all the new information is out there with your clients. That's what I want you to get. In the conversation with them, just be curious. Hey, I'm interested. I'm curious. What's been your greatest challenge this year in your business? Start a conversation. Or if you could wave a magic wand, what's one thing you'd want to change right away? Or if you could wave a magic wand, where would you want to be in your business in 6 months or 12 months? What would be like the ideal place, right? So it's easy to start a conversation. Hold that thought, Jen, because you're really good at this.
Thanks.
The keep pedaling story. Okay. When we're little, younger, and we learn to ride a bike, our parents probably get us a bike with training wheels. And the day comes when the training wheels are to come off, right? And we have to learn how to balance the bike without falling over. Well, what happens? Invariably, your parent puts you on the bike, gets you set, get ready, get pedaling, and you take off down the road, and what happens? You fall over. Well, your parent doesn't go, that's it, we're done. We're done with bikes. Let's do hula hoops. No, your parent gets you back on the bike, gives you another little push and says, go, keep pedaling, keep pedaling. You get a little bit further, you fall over. This happens several times until finally you're soaring down the street with no problem and you don't fall over anymore, or at least not as much as you used to, unless you're doing tricks. The moral of the story is we keep pedaling in business until we find the perfect right approach. And we're going to fall over a few times, but that's okay. We get back on the bike and we keep pedaling and we keep refining and we keep improving, but none of that can be done at your desk. Now, it can be done later after you've had some conversations, like with a coach, like, here's what I said, what could I have done differently? How could I have pedaled differently for a greater outcome? Sure. But you have to start in order to improve.
Mm-hmm.
You can't improve on nothing. Ooh, I feel like
I
an
like that.
Einstein quote today. Can't improve- you can't improve on nothing, right? You got to go out there and start and go, you know what? I'm going to fall over and that's okay. Because you wouldn't let your kid give up riding a bike because he fell over the first time. No, you'd encourage him to get back on the bike. So you encourage yourself to go, you know what? That was interesting. Let me try that again. All right. Maybe try a different opening question. Maybe in your curiosity to understand people or their situations and their issues, you could gear the conversation toward the problems that you solve. So if you solve, for example, stage fright, because you're a public speaking coach, and they like, do you do any speaking as you are promoting your business? Is that a part of your strategy at all? No, not right now. I wish it was, but I'm just too afraid. Ever since I was called up on my second grade teacher for not knowing the answer on the blackboard, I don't like being out in public. Oh, okay. So how has that prevented you from taking the stage and marketing your business from the stage? You see, you can now steer the conversation towards the problems that you solve. They may or may not have an issue with that, and that's okay too. Then you move on and say, geez, it's fascinating talking to you. I've really enjoyed our discussion, learned a lot. And they may say, well, tell me more about what you do after you've been so kind as to listen to them. And if not, you could say, you know what, it's been fascinating talking to you. Really enjoyed it, learned a lot. And my love in life, my passion in my business is to help people rise up, take the stage, and be effective public speakers, especially if they're using speaking to promote their business. And then thanks so much. Let's keep in touch. If you ever run into anybody like that, let me know. And if I can help you in any way, let me know. Okay? Nothing lost. There's no like anything to shrink away from there. It was an adventure. See it as an adventure. Get to know people, interact with people. And remember, it's not about you. Okay? You're being curious. You're being more interested in them than interesting by talking about yourself. Okay? You're being more interested than interesting. All right. Did you want to say you had something else to jump in there, didn't you, Jen?
More so,
Conversation starters. You're really good at keeping that conversation going, because I think what stops people sometimes from just having conversations, they think they have to do it right. So what are some easy ways to get to just start talking to people? Starbucks, the grocery store,
right.
waiting in line somewhere at a
There's
network.
usually, like one of the pieces, like we'll just map it out real quick. So this is like we're in the solution portion. So we of this call. So we know that the problem is you freeze up. You worry about talking about your business. You think you're going to. You keep preparing to prepare. You plan to act. You plan to act. We've got that, right? And there can be a laundry list of reasons. Maybe, like Coach Deborah said, one of your teachers called you out and you felt embarrassed and you haven't processed that pain yet. Maybe you have the excuse of, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to say. I'm not ready yet. I haven't finished my program. I don't have my website set up yet. I don't have my payment processor. I don't know, Stripe, PayPal, how do I use that? I don't know exactly what my program is. I'm not sure if my price is exactly right. Maybe I should talk about price again, but how will I deliver it? Am I busy this month? Maybe I've got a vacation coming up, but I think I might be changing jobs. What if I move to another city? I might get a dog. I'm not kidding you. Like these are you could probably pick your own and add a list to it, right? Like I'm tired today. Oh, my knee hurts. I can't sit down and do my work. I need glasses. I can't
last night. I'm going to write today off. Yeah. Oh my God. It goes on and on and on and on.
So there's that. So just notice what you're thinking. And the reason I'm giving you this list and I can rattle it off so easily, I did not in any way prepare that list in advance. I'm giving you the list because it's normal. I want you to realize that those thoughts are not going to go away. And the more you wait and you fool yourself, and we've all been led to believe like you've got to be good at what you do, which you do. You need to be good, but you're never going to get better or get the transformation into the world until you realize that this laundry list that I just gave you and add your own to it, because we all have them, that doesn't stop. There isn't a day when you wake up and you're like, everything's perfect and it's going to be perfect tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. No, it's not. Life will happen. You'll get busy. You'll hurt your knee. You'll lose your glasses. So to imagine that you can't do anything until those things stop is fooling yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that people never start is we think that those are valid reasons to not be serving. So let's just set that aside. So you got it. Like, notice your excuses. Say, I know you're not going away, excuses. But for right now, if we're going on a road trip, I'm the driver. You got to sit in the back seat. Okay. You can be like this, like 5-year-old that's whiny and complaining and not sure that we should even take this vacation, take this step into action. And that's fine. I love you. You're part of the family. You're not leaving. I get it. Excuse. But you're going to sit in the back seat and I'm going to drive and I'm going to decide where we're going with this adventure, not just today, but tomorrow also. So there's that part of it. The second thing is, a lot of people will ask, how do you get started then? Okay, great, Coach Deb, Coach Jen. I realize I have excuses. I'm willing to set them aside and take action, even though they still exist. My excuses still exist, but I don't know what to do. Like, tell me what to do. And I found that people do really well when they have scripts, like just tell them what to say and they'll at least take a chance and say it. So how I describe like getting the conversation started, let's take just like a real life example. It doesn't begin with like walking up to somebody and trying to give them a bear hug, right? It doesn't begin like, oh, we're going out on a date. We should plan what our babies are going to look like. Like, it doesn't start there. It starts, all of that starts with rapport. So if I'm in a line at a grocery store, if I'm in the gym, if I'm out in the middle of nowhere, one of the things I'm probably the best at, and I think Coach Deborah 100% is the best at, I think you're better at it than me even actually, is just saying something to people like, whoa, those are awesome shoes. Literally, I don't care how dumb that sounds. That's where rapport starts. Like, wow, I love your glasses. Or, oh, it's even hot out today. We make jokes about the weather, but it breaks the ice. So that now you can see if a conversation can begin and they'll say, oh, thanks. Like, thanks. My wife got me these shoes. Yeah.
Now, let me just insert something that those icebreakers are so good, even though they seem trite, because you can immediately tell if the person's going to talk with you or not. We've all been on the airplane where we tried to strike up a conversation and the guy's like, yeah, no, I'm reading. Do not talk to me. And you'll get that clue, that indicator, if you use a simple icebreaker, like, wow, where are you headed today on the airplane? Or like Jen said, I love your glasses. I love your shoes. Hey, that's a really whatever. Okay. That breaks the ice. And they will let you know if they're open to a further conversation. You don't have to guess, worry, etc. They'll let you know. If there's an opening, you go to step 2, which is, Jen.
Which is, well, for me, it's continuing the conversation a little bit. So it might be like they say, okay, great. My wife bought me these shoes. Oh, that's amazing. Where are you traveling? Or, oh, that's amazing. Do you use them for work? Like I probably, if that's my target, I'll move it a little bit closer towards a topic that I am familiar with, right? Which is work, right? Like, so yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I do. They look like great work shoes. Are they comfortable? Yeah. Oh yeah. What kind of work do you do? And then they'll just tell me like, oh, those are great glasses. Like, I should get some. I work from home at my computer. I should get glasses like that. And a lot of times they'll reciprocate by saying, oh yeah, I use them all the time when I work on the computer. Oh, what kind of work do you do? I will move it towards their business because that's usually what I coach and train on. So that's the next step. So now we've like kind of taken a baby step towards, oh no, I'm unemployed and I don't work at all, or I'm like ridiculously wealthy and I'm retired. So I just sit on the beach all day, but these shoes are great on the beach, right? Like, who knows where it goes, but at least we've tiptoed towards seeing if we've got something in common.
Yeah. And look, they may not, your perfect right clients may not be business owners. They may be moms. They may be retirees looking for the next perfect thing. So whatever that is, you move the conversation towards, remember we talked a little bit a few minutes ago, toward the problem that you solve. So what kind of work do you do? Oh, I'm retired. Oh, wow, fantastic. Are you still involved in activities and pursuing your passions? No, I wish I was. I just can't figure out what to do. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Ding, 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 ding. That's what I meant to say. Now you know there's somebody that you can help, right? Because you've asked the question. You've led into the problem that you solve. If you're a home organizer and you find out the lady you're talking to who's got 5 kids and it's really a hassle, it's really quite chaotic in the mornings and a huge task to get them all out the door to school on time. Say, wow, that sounds challenging. Geez, 5 kids. Kudos to you, mom. So would it be helpful for there to be a streamlined way so that the mornings were less chaotic and there was more peace in the house and everyone got out happy?
Yeah.
What would shift in your life if that was able to happen? And not only that, that when they came home from school, everyone knew where their stuff went. They were able to lay out their homework. Everyone knew what their tasks were. And your household was running like a well-oiled machine. Ah, that would be a dream come true. I know, right? That's why I do what I do, because I meet so many moms who are at their wits' end, exasperated, and truth be told, wondering why they had so many kids. But hey, the kids are here, so let's
Right.
figure it out.
Humor goes a long way, I'll tell you. Humor, and then there's another thing. There's one other technique too. Is like, it's not. I mean, when I say technique, I don't mean like I'm like reading, like a recipe and trying to like trick somebody into giving me their credit card. Just to be clear, I'm not. That's not the goal. But there, you can see though in human conversation, there is structure to how we meet each other, right?
Here's the thing: don't talk for an hour and accomplish nothing. You want to steer the conversation towards the problems that you can solve, and then say, oh my gosh, I've talked to so many women like you, or I've met so many women like you who are also like, they're burned out in their corporate career and they're looking for something else, but they're not sure what it is. Like, oh, really? You talk to a lot of women like me? Yeah, I do. It's actually my work. It's what I love to do. Be conversational.
Right.
You don't ask for the credit card right then and there. You just talk about what you do and how you love it and the kinds of issues that you deal with. Okay. But all right. So since we're down to the end of our half hour, let's try to put a lasso around this, Jen.
Well,
so what's stopping you from having conversations, from taking action? Do you want to summarize, or just you have something else you want to add?
I want to just pose the question or the concept of how's that working out for you, which you alluded to. There's a piece I would add to the mother organization story. So if you get in a conversation with a mom, like, wow, your baby's cute. Oh, I have 5 kids. Wow, that's a lot of kids. Like, it sounds really busy. It is really busy. Like, I like to ask, you can phrase it however you like, but sometimes if I feel like we've got a little bit of rapport going, I might say like, and let's imagine this scenario that I do home organization. And she says, wow, I have 5 kids. I might say something to the fact of like ask her how that's working out for her. Like, and I usually say, I'm like, wow, that sounds like a lot. How's that working out for you? That's like, I say that all the time. It's just a question. You want it, take it and love it. And she'll be like, oh my gosh, everything's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds like it. Like, it sounds like a lot of like organizational challenges. I'm like, I'm dropping that seed. Wow. Yeah. But I've gotten feedback from her like, oh, so how's that working out for you? Wow. It's really busy. Oh, like, yeah, it sounds like a lot of organization. So sounds like a lot of organizational challenges, or sounds like a lot of little shoes and coats. And she'll say, oh my gosh, yes, it is. So now she's already validated that she has organizational challenges, and it makes it easier for me to go into the imagine statement, which is what Coach Deborah did, which like, wow, imagine like if they knew where everything was, wouldn't that be awesome? So it just leads it into, sounds like, and how's that working out for you? Like, sounds like a lot of organizational challenges. How's that working out for you? To open that door where she is now telling you her problem. She's telling you more about what the challenge is, which makes the future conversation more meaningful because she's emotionally connected to her challenge. And
sometimes this may be the first time they've really verbalized it.
Yes.
You're like, and they actually take a step back internally, or they visibly. And then it's like, geez, I never really thought about this that way before. And,
right.
And why is this valuable? Because for the first time, they're kind of seeing it with new eyes. Some of them, not everybody will be like, holy cow, yeah, I've been burned by this for a long time. But if we can help them see it with new eyes and really understand its impact, we're a huge gift, because now it's wholly in the light of day, in daylight, and they can see it and go, you know what, that you're right. This has to change. We can't keep going on like this, or I can't keep going on like this, or I can't put this off any longer. I really have to pursue my dream. Or yes, it's time to start speaking, learning the how to do that, how to get started, blah, blah, blah. All right. So
good. All right.
Time
summary
stopping you. Jen talked about all the excuses that are going to, come up and go, why you can't get going. Okay. Even though you want to. You got all these legitimate reasons why you can't get going, right? So you take them all and you put them in a bag and you put, like a tire on the bag and you put them over there. Okay.
Is it a plastic bag? Can you breathe through the bag? Like what kind of?
Oh, it doesn't matter. And now those things have been put to the side for that brief moment. You're clear. You schedule that time on your calendar daily or weekly. Okay. And you don't fart around with it. It's like, no, it's Tuesdays at 1:00. Open the bag, put the stuff in. Okay. Now I've got a clear hour. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact 3 people or 5 people or whatever your goal is and do it. At the end of 1 hour, maybe you have a coach, maybe you have an accountability buddy, or you can do it by yourself. How did it go? Where could I improve? Okay. But put the excuses in a bag. Number 2, it's not about you, it's about them. So you're going to be curious about what's going on for them, where they are, what their challenges or issues are. And 2A, you're going to steer the conversation in the direction of the problems that you solve along the lines of what Jen suggested. Okay. What's next? What's the third thing?
I wrote down that you're going to mess it up. Like, and what you think is perfect.
There is
really,
no perfect.
There is no perfect. Like perfect, actually, if there is such a thing, is the fact that you did something. That's where you should be looking for the success. So if you're looking for a gold star for the day or for a win here, the gold star is taking the action and using your words. It's not what happens after that.
Yep, totally. And you can get better at segueing into, let's have a deeper chat about how possibly what I do could help you streamline, get better, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We can talk about that more on another show, but the point is you're just going out recommending a restaurant. You're just going out being curious. You're just going out finding out about them. Call it market research. It's not about you, it's about them. And you're going to come back and refine you're going to take note of what you learned, and you're going to improve for the next time, right? Which is going to be the next Tuesday at 1:00 or whatever time you've given yourself, where you put all the supposed reasons into a bag over here so they're out of the way. And now you have a clear hour to just do it. Okay. Hold yourself accountable. Here's the bottom line. We can allow these things to stop us for any number of reasons. One of the biggest ones is I got to keep improving it before I start. No, you don't. The only way to really improve it is to get out there. It's an oxymoron. It's like paradox, it's got to be perfect. So I can't start. No, it's never going to be perfect or even improve until you get out there. Right. So, done is better than perfect. And the greatest road to clarity is action. Okay. I think that's what we want to leave you with today.
That's it. If I had a mic, I would drop it.
All right, you guys, look, you have a dream, you have a vision, you have a goal, something you want to do, what you want to accomplish with your business, with your practice, with your products. You got to get out there and make it happen. You can't, what was the quote I said earlier today? You can't improve. What did I say?
I don't know.
It was something like you can't improve nothing. Like it's like, and you can't build a business by being invisible either. I hate to tell you. So anyway, more next time. Thanks for your attention. And again, remember, if you have further questions related to sales, marketing, messaging, or speaking, fire them off at questions@debandjenshow.com. The email is questions@debandjenshow.com. See you next time, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye for now.